Hello. So if you haven't, go get this book. Go read it. It's a pretty good one. We're going to be talking about it today and the next couple weeks. If by chance you didn't get it, you can always come borrow mine. I'm happy to lend it out to you. Just make sure I get it back or you can go to the library. They may have it there. You can go to the public library. They may have it there. The bookstore has it. I know it's for a couple bucks. You can get it, pretty cheap around. Or if by chance you don't have an opportunity to get the book, you can also read it online, and it's called at Lit Charts, and I'll leave this link below too. This one gives you the summary, the analysis, all the good and the bad, but it doesn't give you like the humor that the book has, because this book is funny. And like for instance, like this book page right here, he writes, he's an artist. The kid in our story is an artist, and so he draws pictures of things he's thinking about and wanting to do and those kind of things. So if you just read this part, you're going to really kind of miss the cultural funniness of it. So, and it's supposed to be an easy read. It's supposed to be a good time. So don't stress yourself out about it. Okay, so we're going to look at this book as if we are the parents or the school or the society in this culture, in this book. So I know you probably, if those of you who have read this before, have probably looked at it as like a character. You probably did themes, you probably did summaries, you probably did the purpose of the book, maybe is finding his identity, whatever it is. We're going to look at it as if you are the school and the community and the parents of students like this. What can we do to support? What can we do to change? What can we do to make the life of this part-time Indian a little bit easier? Because he's got some rough things going on. So the first couple pages of the book talks about him, like his medical needs and how he is the way he is, and then it goes into poverty. He talks about being hungry. And if you've never experienced poverty to the point where you don't have food in your house, that's a very real hunger. It's a very real pain. I know sometimes my kids, when I had kids at home, they're all like, "Oh, there's nothing to eat in this house." I'm like, we do have food to eat. It's just not what you wanted to eat. Oh my gosh. So you can make yourself some oatmeal, but I don't have Captain Crunch. Okay, so there's your difference. You do have food. We're talking about people who are in poverty who really truly don't even have that oatmeal or the beans in their cabinet to have. So how does that affect learning in your classroom? It's huge. It's, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I told you that before with the pyramid. So if you've got your basic needs at the bottom, so if your needs aren't being met, there's no way we can go to the top of that pyramid and learn what we're supposed to be learning in school if we don't have our basic needs met. Basic needs are like food, shelter, love, security, all the things that you should be getting at home. And once those things are fulfilled, then going into the school, you can learn about comprehension and analysis, and then higher order thinking, and then critical thinking skills. You go all the way up the line, but you have to have that bottom need met first. So in our story, this young kid, he's hungry. He talks about chicken. He talks about fried chicken, like how good does chicken leg taste if you haven't eaten anything in 18 hours? 18 hours. When's the last time you haven't eaten anything in 18 hours? Well, I've done it when I was sick, sure, yeah, but still, you've got options. And if you don't have that even options to have, being hungry is a real thing. So in your classroom, think about what can you do, or what can your school do, what can your society do to prevent kids being hungry like this. It's a real thing. He talks about it. He also talks about like his parents and how they never really got to do what they needed to do. So therefore they're kind of back into that poverty cycle. He talks about when you are poverty equals empty refrigerator plus empty stomach, and the parents aren't getting food because they didn't have any money. They didn't even have any money to help the vet, to pay for the vet to help his dog too. So poverty and socioeconomic status is a large issue in our culture and just the way the world is today. And you think about our economy and how everything's getting like super expensive, and those who have are getting more, those who have not are getting less. It just seems to be an endless cycle. So what can you do in your classroom to help? So that's going to be some of the questions I'm going to ask you in the comments, is if your student is hungry, what can you do? If your student is living in poverty, what can you do? We're not going to be able to like buy them all the food because you're going to be on a teacher budget, and that's pretty It's pretty unattainable, and it's also not sustainable. So we have to think about what programs can we put in place, what resources are out there to help this student. So he also talks about, in the book, he gets a geometry book, and it is his mom's book from 30 years ago. And I have taught in schools that have books that are that old, and so that's no joke. When I was teaching at Sacred Heart here at Miles City, just probably 5 years before I moved here, or moved to the college, there was still textbooks that were using George W. Bush, like the dad, as the president. That's unacceptable. But if you look at, do you know how much a curriculum, like new textbooks, cost? I mean, thousands of dollars. And if you're at a school where it's got no money, you've got some issues. You have to supplement. So anyway, you think about his book, he is coming from a family of poverty. He is coming from a place with no money. He is going to a school with no resources. What are the chances of him succeeding? You look at his parents. His parents wanted to succeed. They all had great ideas, and he even draws a picture of them of what they could have been and what they should have been, right in here. But that's not what happened. So what happens in our society and in our culture, looking through the lens of this book, what could we have done to help parents? And not you as a first-year teacher, but what could have society done to help that? Or is there any reason to? If they're choosing to stay in the reservation and do what they're doing, fabulous, more power to them. But if that's not what they wanted and that's not what they were looking for, then that's kind of like lost dreams, like lost hope. And if our parents don't have hope for what's going on, how can kids and students have that same hope? It's really hard. So a couple things I want you to think about. Another thing I'm going to show you is, if you are teaching this book and needed a little bit more like substantial background on Native American studies, PBS has a fantastic website, and the Montana PBS is amazing. So if you wanted to, you could definitely share this right here. Use it, share it, and it's a great place to jump off to get some of those facts. Because remember when I talked about when we were teaching things in our classroom, sticking with the facts is probably the best idea. This is a great place to find those facts. And also it's linked to our Common Core standards. I know we've talked about a little bit this before, but CCSS is Common Core State Standards, ELA is English Language Arts, Literacy, R1.6.7. So this is reading, is it interpretation or integration? Geez, I probably should look that up. I'm not quite sure. And then 6.7 would be like your 6th grade, your 7th standard. And this would be like your 7th grade, 9th standard, 6th through 8th grade, and then your 7th standard. So all of those are all the strands that would be taught through this book. So I want you to focus on poverty in your classroom. What can we do to help? And then making sure that we look at systems that can get those basic needs met of those students, and what would things have been different like for this child had his parents gotten to do what they wanted to do in their life. Things that make you go, All right, see you guys.